Hey guys, it's Philip from eManage1, and in this video I am going to do a quick run through of our newly redesigned QuickQuote window. So the QuickQuote window is designed for those projects that do not need a drawing in order to get a list of items together. Maybe you're doing labor only, anything that you already have in your database. And there's several ways to shortcut just about everything there, and I'm going to go ahead and get started here. So I'm going to go here to my recent records. These are the records that I've used in the last 5 days, newest to oldest in the tree. And I'm just going to right-click on Starbucks here, and I'm going to go to Actions and create a new QuickQuote. Okay, so what this window does is it will shortcut the basic project operations. So this one window will create your project information, your bill of materials and your quote, your order entry, and take you to the purchase order creation window if you leave all of these checked. If you're just going to do a quote for somebody, you can uncheck the create order entry and all the others will disappear and you won't have as much to fill out. Check the create order entry again and they all check again. You notice here I'm in here for 100% as a salesperson because I am the salesperson, so it assigns me automatically. It's also got Starbucks in here, my bill to, and for my end user, that is where it's going to get the sales tax rate. So if you change this, it will take on the tax rate of the end user or the ship to, whichever you fill out. The bill to is not where you charge sales tax for. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fill this top part out. And now I'm going to just add some parts. So we have a lot of different options down here for adding parts to the quote. I am going to actually select an auto part template first. So these are parts that you can add with just a template name, and they will some of them you can configure to calculate off of items that are in your bill of materials. So I'm going to do the Hayworth auto part test, and that is going to calculate only based on Hayworth product. Okay, so it added my 2 parts, and I hit enter after I select that template to get them to add. Now I'm going to do a search for some parts. So I'm going to go from, I'm going to do a vendor ref search. These are 2 new fields that we added in the search here and in the bill of materials window. So MFG code and vendor ref. So I'm going to do vendor ref so I can show you real quick how you can find just about anything from any manufacturer if you know that. So I'm going to pick some, I'm going to go and do Hayworth first. So Hayworth is a vendor ref of HAW. And you'll see it actually pulls up every single Hayworth part that I have in my database. And I can choose a couple of these to add. I can hold down my control key and then I can add a certain quantity. So I can change this quantity and then hit the plus. I'm going to just add it at a quantity of 1. Okay, so first thing that happened, you'll notice, is I also got a brand new part in here called generic freight. And we have auto adding, auto removing, and auto calculating freight parts. And we do this so that you can avoid margin erosion from your people forgetting to put freight charges into your quotes. So this works here and in the bill of materials window. You also notice that my delivery and installation has a quantity of 2. This auto part is set up to sum up the quantity of things from Hayworth and use that as the quantity here. So if I were to change this to 8, okay, you'll notice first of all that my freight charge, my generic freight here is now $439, where it was $159, which was the minimum charge, and now it's recalculated because it's based off of a percentage of my list price of those. It also changed my auto part quantity on delivering installation to 9 because I've got 8 of these and 1 of these, and they're both Hayworth. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add some Han. So I'm going to put in there Han, and you'll see I have some parts for Han in there. Okay, so I'm just going to select a few of these and add. Okay, so now I've got a bunch of these. I also got another generic freight part here. This one's for Han. It is not auto-calculating, but it will disappear if I hit a ceiling. So same with the Hayworth parts. So if I were to change my Han parts, I'm going to change the quantity on a bunch of these all at once. Okay, so I'm going to highlight, and then I get a panel over here where I can change values over here. So I'm going to set them all to a quantity of 9. Okay, and you'll notice that my Han freight part has gone away now because it's now below the threshold of the cap where they don't charge me for freight anymore. Okay, and that same thing will happen if I go into this and I change my quantity to, let's do this one actually. We'll change it to a quantity of 22. Okay, and you'll notice that my freight part for Hayworth is gone as well. Okay, you also notice that I have 30 now for my quantity on my auto calculating delivery and installation. And this down here, project management, I have it set to 2% of list price on Hayworth parts. So that's going to keep calculating as long as I keep adding Hayworth parts, or I or I go and create the quote. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you, when I add parts that are furniture from master part listing, which is how we got them from here, if you use ProjectSpec, you can actually double click on these and set the options because our master part listing does not hold any of the options. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on this. It's going to pull up my ProjectSpec catalog viewer right to that part with the options that I've already chosen. And now I can option these out. Okay, once I accept it, it will add it into the bill of materials here. And let's go and do another one here. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and just add a brand new part from ProjectSpec from the catalog viewer. Click there. And then I go down and pick some we'll pick Herman Miller. Okay, and accept. And that's going to add itself to my quote, and you see it did. And I can also do an import. So just like I can import my my SIFs and my XMLs into the QuickQuote, I can also add by import here. So I'm going to grab an XML here. I'm going to validate the parts. Okay, so you can see it added all those parts in there now. That was quite a few. Wow, okay. All right, and a couple other things about this. You know, of course, that you can type in these grids anywhere. And something new about the QuickQuote is we now have the phase drop down here, which will take all of your auto part phases and put them in the list here, so you can choose from this. You can also just type in a phase name and a phase description, or just a phase name if you just want to group them out. When you go ahead and process this, it will break your parts into the phases that you choose. It'll group them, just like your tagging does in the specifying software. And you'll notice that some of these already have stuff in them from the import. And you also notice that the auto calculating parts, or the things that auto added, already have their phase in here, okay, because they're pre-set up that way. Oh, one more thing. We added in to the find from here, inventory. Okay, so if you click on inventory, you get a list of your available inventory, what warehouse it's in, and you'll also notice another button showed up here in my add quantity text box, and that button is for reserving inventory. So you can add inventory to your QuickQuote, but it won't reserve it. So reserving it will take it out of available, and nobody will be able to use it, so that you'll have it for this. If you just click the plus, it'll just be adding it, and you'll use it from stock when the person decides to get it. So I'm actually going to go and uncheck the create order entry, so you guys can see the. No, I'm going to leave it actually. So you'll be able to see this go all the way through, book the order, and take me right to the purchase orders window. Okay, so and these find parts from. There's a few other things. These are the top 25 parts that you sell, you personally, and your favorites, and your library, and your catalog. Okay, this also has all the functionality of the associated parts. So if you have parts associated with the part that you're adding, your window will pop up and you'll be able to choose to add it or not. All right, so I am going to go ahead and process this. Okay, so it actually just created me a project, and we're going to work through this. So you can see, so my project information has all filled out with my end user, all my values, and my bill of materials is all done. And it's got my different faces here that I chose. And you'll notice the pictures are down here on the things that we have. Just as a side note, if you don't know that eManager does this, you can actually highlight items in your BOM, right-click, and you can read pictures from Project Matrix. So if you use Project Matrix, there's a lot of benefit here. So if we read those pictures, looks like there aren't going to be any pictures for those. You do have to have the symbols downloaded in order for the manufacturer. So it looks like it just got one part out of there. Maybe some of these are discontinued. Let me see what this vendor is. Let's sort it by vendor so I can just see them all together. So those are AIS. Lots of. Okay. Right. Anyway, I'm going to take you to the order entry again now, and you'll actually see that while it was doing all this stuff, it was also building the order, booking the order as a job, and giving the booking credit. And it's ready. If I wanted to invoice this right now, it's already ready to go to QuickBooks. So I can hit the invoice button here, and I've got all of my account mapping's done for me. Okay, there it is. And it took me to the Create Purchase Orders window, so I literally can go right into that. Everything's chosen that I need to be chosen, and I can just generate my POs. Okay, so I hope you enjoy the redesign, and if you have any questions, give us a call. Thanks.